Hello everyone, I am the Lore Explorer and this is Outer Wilds. In today's loop, I want to take a closer look at a certain animation in the game. I've always sort of brushed by it, but I think if we take a little bit of a deeper look, it may reveal some meaning. So the topic we're going to be covering in today's video are the Nomai statues, or more accurately, the mechanics and hardware associated with the Nomai statues. As always, this video will contain spoilers for Outer Wilds. The Nomai statues have always been an interesting part of the game to me. One of the first impactful moments of the game is the Nomai statue moving on its own, stopping us in our tracks, and then seemingly proceeding to steal our memories. From then on, every time we die, we seem to pass through a Nomai mask that we've never seen before. And once through this mask, our memories get played in reverse until we end up waking up at the campfire with a startle and a head full of unearned memories. I never really gave this much thought while playing the game. I decided this was probably our memories being retrieved by the Nomai statue, or just a simple gameplay animation to transfer things smoothly when you die. But after studying the animations for a while, I think I may have been wrong. To be fair, I did know that this was a memory transfer, but still, I was super wrong. So in this video, I'm actually going to explain what I now think we are seeing in these scenes, and after that, I'm going to talk about the meaning I see behind this and some interesting aspects I see to it. To start, we are going to track down the Nomai statues and the explanation for how all of this works, and I suppose the best place to do that is the statue workshop. This is where the Nomai finished the first Nomai statue, and when that happened, a few of the Nomai gathered together here to watch the tests. Some of the children even came out of excitement trying to sneak in, but it was definitely warned against and they didn't want to risk it, so they just stayed out. But the excitement they all had was definitely worth it, because they all wanted to witness the first connectivity test between a Nomai and one of the Nomai statues. The children probably watched down in excitement as Daz, with a warning, asked everybody else to step back as they stepped forward. Suddenly, the statue activated and opened its eyes with a blue glow. The test was a success, and Daz was now connected to the statue. No matter where Daz was in the solar system, this statue will be actively recording their memories in real time. And, as the Nomai note, this is a perfect time to test Daz's memory storage prototype in the Ash Twin project. It's all good and fine if the statue is recording the memories, but if the recording isn't being stored anywhere, what good is it? Since at this point, none of the masks are installed inside the Ash Twin projects, the memory storage units must be the slab-like structures we see that the masks eventually get attached to, which actually made sense to me. The storage unit would need to be something large to store so much data. With the test of success, Daz goes about their day making new memories. Their statue is recording them and sending them all to the memory slab in real time. We can actually see memories moving around in the circuitry, showing us that something is being stored inside this slab. So essentially, the slab behind the masks acts as a database for the connected Nomai's memories, and the test was a success so far. But even with these two pieces functioning, there's still one more to go. The last thing the Nomai need is a statue that works as a transmitter to send those memories back to the original owner. Because, we have to send all this stuff back in time and blah 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 blah. I'm trying to avoid all that. The base can store memories, but it isn't connected to the user to be able to send them out again after it's sent back in time, blah 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 blah. For this, the Nomai construct a giant Nomai mask for each of the memory storage units and corresponding statues. They call these masks the statue's counterparts. These masks would essentially do the same thing the regular statues do, but in reverse. It's going to be sending memories from the memory storage unit to the connected party. But sadly, it seems the Nomai were never able to test this part of their contraption. Either way, those are the three major components related to memory connected to the Ash Twin projects. Ignoring the black hole in time stuff and all that, because I'm trying to avoid all that. This is a statue-based video, statues. But once all of the statues, memory slabs, and masks were installed, the Nomai were theoretically ready to start the Ash Twin projects. So, when all was said and done, they have a Nomai statue recording all of our memories in real time. The statue is sending these memories to the memory storage slab that each Nomai mask is attached to, also in real time. And then, when the Ash Twin projects would activate, the memory slab sends those memories up the metal channel in its center up into the black hole. The same metal channel would receive these memories from the white hole that appears 22 minutes in the past, yada yada yada. And as it receives these memories, the attached Nomai mask is streaming them out in real time to whoever is attached to the statue. Luckily for our character, we seem to be sleeping at the time of this info dump, and we have a relatively calm reception to them. But just imagine if Gabra was bringing back the statue to the museum, and it somehow activated just when they were going in for a landing. The statue connected to them and started stealing their memories just before they needed to fire their retro rockets. I wonder if Gabro could hold it together then, huh? But anyway, ignoring the rant, that's an in-detail explanation as to the components used to store our memories and send them back in time. But now that we actually know what's going on with the memory recording system in detail, we can talk about the ways we see it manifest itself in the game. When we approach the statue for the first time after its activation, it seems to come to life. The Nomai must have put some special tech in there, like the Nomai staff has, since it's able to move at will, turning its entire body about 90 degrees to make very uncomfortable eye contact with us. As we watch the statue, its eyes light up in a brilliant blue fashion, and soon after, what looks like Nomai writing starts flowing from our character into the Nomai statue. Our memories start to appear, though transparently. Our memories play from the beginning of the loop up until the moment we are in now. But as we watch, we notice that the memories sort of get smaller and smaller, and all go through the Nomai's third eye. Though all of this happens, we still seem to be in control of our character, and we don't really follow the path of our memories. This is obviously a unique animation as far as memory transfers go, but we'll touch a bit on that later. Okay, with the activation out of the way, let's go through with a normal memory transfer cycle and slow it down. As the hatchling dies or the cycle ends, our perspective turns black. A Nomai mask appears before us and slowly begins to move towards us. We enter through the Nomai mask's third eye. Around our memories, the Nomai text is now flying from the memories toward us or the Nomai mask we just came through, and that's the opposite of when we sunk with the statue. Now, our memories play from most recent events in reverse, all the way back to the beginning of the loop. Again, opposite of when we sunk with the statue. After the memories finish playing, we wake up as a Hearthian just awakening from their campfire snooze. So let's try watching that again and associating it with the statues and how we know the memory transfers works. Now remember, I used to think that this sequence was the statues receiving our memories somehow after we died. But here's what I think is happening now, step by step. As we play the game, our memories are being recorded by the Nomai statue in real time. The statue is simultaneously sending this information to the storage slab inside the Ash Twin projects. When we die, all of our memories from this loop have already been sent to the statue and memory storage. I think what we are seeing when we enter the mask's third eye is our memories being sent backwards in time. It's being played in reverse because it's going through the black hole. Then out of the white hole streams the Nomai writing or text. That's all streaming back into the mask, which is, of course, how we know that the system sends the memories back to the hatchling. So this sequence isn't the memory statue gathering our memories, rather it's the whole memory apparatus sending memories to the new Hearthian. But this leads me to a few interesting things I noticed and then a question. First off, the statue opens its eyes and they glow blue. These eyes obviously have some sort of connection to us, since, well, we stay connected to them from here on out. Now, they aren't exactly similar, but this does kind of remind me of the Nomai orbs we can look at to switch things on and off. When we look at them, they begin to glow blue, and we obviously have some sort of connection to them for us to be able to control them like we do. And the second thing that I just can't help be drawn to is the Nomai writing being streamed in and out of the statues. I mean, this is almost definitely Nomai writing, or at the very least, it's a mimic of it, but without a doubt, it's text or code being sent from the memory unit into the black hole. Then, we see it again as memories stream back into our head. It's interesting to think about how this text might be what's making up the information that we think of as our memories. How this text may be involved, and perhaps even manipulated in some way, is fascinating to me. Maybe the statue and connecting hardware is just a quantum computer running every single memory sequence possible until it finally sends you down the right one. I mean, it's much more likely that the Nomai just figured out how to write down memories somehow, and then that's what's being sent through, but still, if they figured that out, it's possible to manipulate them. It's just all very interesting to think about. Or maybe I went down one of those little rabbit holes I'm known to go down. Either way, this in-detail look into something like this is interesting to me in and of itself. But what's so interesting to me about this particular concept is memory is so inherently linked to our concept of self, right? If you lose all of your memories, you'd be a completely different person. If someone came to you and implanted a bunch of false memories, you'd change because of that. And this concept of memory sort of seems meaningful within the game itself in a few different ways. It seems the memory of Solanum is what allowed her to show up at the Eye of the Universe during our end scene. And without her, the next universe may have been lifeless. Which leads me to how our memories and experience seems to be able to shape the next universe in some ways as well. These are both pretty big impacts in the game solely based on memories. And that's not to mention how the only way you can make any difference to your never-ending hell of a time loop is having memories of the last one. Really, none of this changes anything in particular for what we see in the game. I just thought it was an interesting concept to go a bit deeper into. Now, what I really wish I could do is figure out how these statues actually work. Thinking about the Nomai and their way of life, it does seem that they have some sort of mental telepathy. The way they use their staffs leads me to believe most of the interface between the Nomai and their staff happens mentally, and they seem to be able to manipulate their surroundings mentally as well. Maybe that is inherent to the universe. Maybe we're able to do it too, but the Nomai just found a way to harness and implement its power, and they're knowledgeable of it, and we just happen by it by getting near these statues. So maybe when we look at the open eye of the active statue, we connect to it telepathically, and that's the end of the story. Then, the statue is able to read our mental capacity just as the Nomai staffs may be able to read the Nomai's minds. And, it's all just working together because that's how the universe works. There are so many options and possibilities to explain this, but I figure I'd at least give one vaguely supported by in-game mechanics. But this leads me to the question I had earlier. Do we see this in-game animation for anything other than transitional game purposes? Is it at all possible that we as the player at home aren't following the story of the hatchling? Rather, we're following the story of the original hatchling's memories and how they shape a universe. Think about it. That cutscene might not be a gameplay reset. It may actually just be a continuation of our initial viewpoint, the memories of Hatchling 1 that we made, continually going through the Ash Twin projects until it eventually finds itself inside the right Hearthian, standing above the eye as if it was destined to be there. But I guess really that's just a fancy thought. And that's just about all I have on the Nomai statues, their friend the Nomai mass, and the under-recognized slab of hard drives storing all your memories. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the video and found it interesting, and didn't mind me rambling on for a bit. If you did like the video, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It really does help, as it lets YouTube know my content is worth sharing. If you'd like to support the channel a little more directly, you can be like the new awesome members here, Brock Riblet and Splendid Cactus, who has a splendid name. They both recently became members on the channel, and now they have access to a bunch of my past live streams, as well as special roles in the Discord, if and when they join. And of course, they get a special thank you from me in every video. So thank you to all the members here on the channel. We are one member away from hitting 20 member milestone, and the support you guys have given and shown me is really amazing, and it really does help the quality of the channel improve, so thank you guys so much. And as always, this is a Lore Explorer with 176 crashes, but 0 boring ones. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.